Welcome back to the Linux for Beginners series. So far, we have learned how Linux organizes files, manage users, control permissions, install software, manage processes, and run services. But one question remains. How does a Linux system communicate with other computers? Whether you are browsing the internet, downloading software, connecting through SSH, or hosting a website, networking is involved. In this video, we will learn the networking concepts every Linux beginner should know and explore the most useful networking commands. Almost every Linux system today is connected to a network. It might be your home Wi-Fi, your office network, or a cloud environment. Networking allows Linux systems to communicate, exchange data, and access services. In this lesson, we will understand the basic concepts before using any commands. Networking simply means connecting computers so they can communicate with each other. Examples are when you open a website, send an email, download updates, or connect to another Linux server. You are using computer networking. Without networking, your computer would work in isolation. Every device connected to a network needs an address. In networking, this address is called an IP address. An analogy is think of your house address. A courier can only deliver a package if it knows where you live. Similarly, data can only reach your computer if it knows its IP address. This is an example of a private IPv4 address that you might see on your home network. Later you will also encounter IPv6 addresses, but today we will focus on IPv4. Your Linux system connects to the network using a network interface. Examples are EDS0, ENP0S3, WLAN0, etc. It depends on your Linux distribution and hardware interface names may look different. A wired Ethernet connection and a Wi-Fi connection each have their own interfaces. Let's understand two very important networking components. Gateway. The gateway is usually your router. Whenever your computer needs to communicate outside your local network, it sends the traffic to the gateway. DNS. DNS stands for Domain Name System. Humans remember names like google.com, but computers communicate using IP addresses. DNS translates website names into IP addresses. This is the Linux machine, gateway, IP addresses, and network we will be exploring. Hostname command displays the name of your Linux system. IP-addr shows all network interfaces and their IP addresses. IPRoute displays the system's routing table, including the default gateway. In google.com, test whether another computer can be reached. SS-TOLN shows each network port that are currently listening for incoming connections. This is very useful for administrators. Whenever there is a network problem, don't guess. Follow a logical troubleshooting process. Step 1 is to check whether the system has an IP address. Step 2 is to check whether you can reach the gateway. Next step is to check the internet connectivity. Step 4 is if internet connectivity works but website names don't, the issue is probably DNS. Professional Linux administrator follow a structured approach like this instead of trying random commands. Let's begin by checking the hostname of this Linux system. And the command is hostname. The output shows the name assigned to this computer, that is student-lab-vm. This command displays all network interfaces. For example, the loopback interface, the Ethernet interface. Loopback interface is used for communication within the same computer and has an IP address of 127.0.0.1. In this example, the Ethernet interface ENP0S3 has an IP address of 10.0.2.15. IP link command shows whether each interface is up or down. For example, Ethernet interface is also up. An interface must normally be in the up state before it can communicate. Now let's see how Linux decide where to send network traffic, and the command for this is ip-route. We can see the default is via 10.0.2.2. That is the default gateway. Whenever Linux doesn't know where a destination is, it sends the traffic to the default gateway. Now let's test the internet connectivity. The command is ping, for example, an IP address of 8.8.8.8, and we can see that we are getting replies from this IP address. To stop this, we can use Control C. If it works, our internet connection is working. We can see there are 9 packets transmitted, 9 packets received, and 0% packet loss. Now we are testing the DNS. The command is ping and the server name, for example, google.com. Notice that Linux first converts the name google.com into an IP address. That is, for example, 192.178.177.113. To stop the ping, we can press Ctrl C. If the previous ping worked, but this one does not, the problem is probably DNS rather than the internet connectivity. Finally, let's see which services are listening for network connections. And the command is ss-tuln. We can see the local addresses and port numbers. We can also see the state. Since Nginx is running on the server, it's listening to port 80 on all IP addresses. 0.0.0.0 means all IP addresses. Here are few common mistakes. First mistake is confusing the host name with the IP address. Second mistake is thinking that failure to open a website always means the internet is down. Mistake 3 is ignoring the default gateway. Mistake 4 is trying random commands instead of troubleshooting step by step. Here is a quick reference of today's commands. Please pause the video and use this table as a study guide. Let's summarize today's lesson. Every computer needs an IP address. Network interfaces connect Linux to the network. The default gateway connects your system to other networks. DNS converts names into IP addresses. The IP, ping, and SS commands are essential networking tools. Now that we understand the basics of networking, we are ready for one of the most useful Linux tools, that is SSH. In the next lesson, we will learn how to securely connect to another Linux system remotely and begin managing servers over the network. Thank you for watching. If you found this lesson helpful, please like the video and subscribe to follow the complete Linux for Beginners series. And I will see you in the next lesson.